Hi guys, and welcome to prediction week 23. Yes, it is week 23 this one. I realised I said week 23 in the last video, and it should have been 22. So it's 23 this one, for sure. We're back after the FA Cup action, and no lunchtime kick-off tomorrow. We start at 3 o'clock. Crystal Palace versus Burnley. It's going to be a very, very good, tight game, this one. Crystal Palace have started to pick up some points now. Burnley's been a very, very hard team to beat and score past this season. So this has got the making of being quite a good, tight, tough game, which is why I've gone for a really, really tight draw as well. It's a shame it didn't actually make the lunchtime kickoff, because I think a lot of people might have liked to see this one. But there you go. But I'm going to go for Crystal Palace 1, Burnley 1. As I say, I think that's going to be a really good game to watch. For match choice at least. If it turns out that way, hopefully. Then we have Huddersfield versus West Ham. Again, two teams that are probably in need of 3 points. Probably West Ham a little bit more than Huddersfield. But I'm actually going to give it to Huddersfield, because Huddersfield are the home side. I'm going to go Huddersfield 2, West Ham 1. Then we have Newcastle versus Swansea. Again, two teams that are in need of 3 points, and again, Swansea needed them more than Newcastle, but again, I'm going to go for the home side. I'm going to go Newcastle 2, Swansea 1. Then we have West Brom versus Brighton. Again, I'm going to go for a really, really tough, tight, entertaining game in this one. We can argue, that it wasn't a penalty, or it was a penalty with the West Brom Derby and Arsenal game, but it's a good point for West Brom Derby, drawing to Arsenal, and they did play quite well. Arsenal fans can moan. We can moan. Oh, was it a penalty? This, was it a penalty? That. But we should have been. No disrespect to West Brom Albion, right? But when you're Arsenal and you're wanting to get into the top 4 and attract, these really, really tough, these really top players and that, and try and convince Ozil and all them to stay. You've got to be going to the likes of Albion and thinking, right, we're going to get 3 easy points today, and I know, there's no such thing as three easy points, but we do make life difficult for ourselves all the time, and I don't think we played that great against West Brom Albion, to be fair. We should be, it was a really, really poor game. I thought, they defended quite well and they frustrated us. You know what I mean? Simple as that. But going back to West Brom Albion, it's going to be a tough game against Brighton. As I say, how West Brom going to be after their, good point against Arsenal? Not sure. I can't remember how they got on in the FA Cup. But I'm going to go for, like I said, a tough, tight draw in this one. I'm going to go West Brom Albion 1, Brighton 1. Then we have Watford versus Southampton. Again, two teams that haven't really set the world alight this year, and again, Watford's probably in need of 3 points more than Southampton, but again, I'm going to give the win to Southampton, even though they are the away side. I just think that Southampton's got a little bit more about them, so I'm going to go Watford 1, Southampton 2. Then we have Chelsea versus Leicester, and again, I'm going to go for a really, really lively game in this one. I always have to have one a week, so this is the game I've picked. Reason being, Chelsea's played in the week against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. So yeah, and Leicester, as I say, they like to come at you. They like to, score goals and that, but they also leave themselves open. So is it a case that Leicester go 1-0 up and then, Chelsea equalise, blah blah blah? You can probably tell where I'm going with this one. Yeah, going for the famous Chelsea 2, Leicester 2. Like I said, is it going to be one of them games where Leicester go 1-0 up and then Chelsea 1-1, then Chelsea 2-1, and then Leicester score, and then, hopefully we have a good game like that. Because like the last 20 minutes of Arsenal versus Chelsea was like one of the classics, to be fair. The rest of the game was absolute dog shite, but the last 20 minutes really got people off their seats. So let's hope we can have 90 minutes of that against Chelsea and Leicester on tomorrow. So Chelsea 2, Leicester 2. And then at 5:30 we have Tottenham versus Everton. And again, I think if Tottenham can get their act together, I think Everton are there for the taking, to be fair. No disrespect to Everton, but I think they're there for the taking. I'm going to go Spurs 3, Everton 1. And then 1:30 on Sunday, We have Bournemouth versus Arsenal, and again, I'm not going to give a win. I'm not going to give a win to Arsenal. I think it's going to be one of them games where Arsenal struggle. You know, they're going to put pressure on themselves and do something stupid and blah blah blah. You know, absolutely dreadful performance against Nottingham Forest. How disrespectful can Arsene Wenger be to disrespect a trophy that saved his career? Not once, not twice, but 3 times. You know, he'd saved his career when we beat Hull about 3 years ago. It saved his career when we beat Aston Villa, and it definitely saved his career more than anything last summer when we went and beat Chelsea. So then to go and play, to go and make 8 changes and not even have any security on the bench, it's just a disgrace. You know, it's just downright disrespectful. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think we played great on Wednesday. We defended great, to be fair. Don't really see Arsenal play that way. So, you've got to give credit where it's due. He did set up quite well on Wednesday, to get a draw and bring it back to the Emirates. But God, it was so shit to watch. I feel sorry with everybody else along with me that had to sit there and watch that, especially for the neutrals as well. But again, going back to the game, I think Bournemouth are going to cause us problems, and I think at best, I think we can probably get a draw because I don't think Bournemouth are quite strong enough to see us off. So I'm going to go Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 1. A few eyebrows may be raised to me at this one. 4 o'clock, Liverpool versus Manchester City. Now, we all know that Liverpool's got a good record against Manchester City, especially at home. And we all know that Liverpool usually do quite well against the big sides. I don't think Manchester City have been playing great lately, to be fair. And they also had midweek action against Bristol City. And they only just about won that one in the last kick of the game. So I'm going to go for Liverpool to end the unbeaten run this weekend. I'm going to go Liverpool 2, Manchester City 1. Like I said, you can maybe a few eyebrows raised there, but I'm just saying what I think. And then on Monday, 8 o'clock, we have Manchester United versus Stoke. And again, if Manchester United can get their act together, I think Stoke could be there for the taking. So I'm going to go Manchester United 2, Stoke 0. So that has been my predictions for this week, guys. And I'll see you next week for next week's predictions. Thank you for watching, guys.